Hi, Guerrero. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Adina.
So this is my kitchen. It's not very big, and it's actually the place I'm for a very, very long time. Each time it's about working on the computer, which is a lot of hours actually. And where are you?
I'm in a caravan in the garden of the Embassy of Foreign Artists in Geneva. I came from Brazil to do the residency here. I've lived for some time in the city in Geneva in about 12 years ago, and also in 99. Then it's like a comeback to do the project about Switzerland, the continuation of the super fictional Atlas project.
Super Rio é o gêmeo superficcional do Rio de Janeiro, um ecossistema de superficções que interferem na construção da cidade e do imaginário coletivo. O substrato sobre o qual se constrói Super Rio é o infra-rio. Ele é composto pela superescravidão, que rege inconscientemente as relações humanas e estrutura a sociedade supercarioca. Infra-rio vem à tona em forma de supererupções dos supervulcões.
Also wir waren ja schon in vielen Städten, aber Rio ist einfach einzigartig. Die Leute sind dermaßen spontan und herzlich. Ist eine tolle Stadt, findest du nicht?
Ja, man fühlt sich eigentlich sofort richtig zu Hause. Tschüss, mach's gut.
Your movie made me think of one question I have a lot is about local and international, because for art scene, being international has a lot of value. So actually, I would say, to say it a bit harsh, we have to be good tourists in culture. We have to move and take planes and make residency far away, because this gives value, even economic value, on our CV in a way. Which brings maybe even this situation right here, that it's actually quite fancy or quite nice to meet internationally and to exchange, and what is a cultural exchange. And that sometimes, yeah, it's really banal, but sometimes to meet, to talk with just people who live in other places, other situation, it's really maybe a super fiction machine then that comes out. But I would say that we are right now into a super fiction as well.
Totally.
Solid, safe, stable.
And is what we were talking about really cliche, but as they self-promote, and when it's the cliches they incarnate, they become reality, and you don't know what is fiction, what is real. It's everything merges somehow. It's the first time I research about a play that has it's very paradox, lots of paradox in many ways. Or this thing that's is very national. It has this imagery of this pure land and something close, but it's if you cut it out, or if the country disappears, the whole world, the Western world, falls down. All the imperial, the capitalist world is it's like the central piece of everything. For the education of the children's elite, the trade system, for everything, like to live, also to die, to retire, to do surgery, for the medicine too. But it's like one international place, but very, very like on Olympus. That's why I work with the metaphor as Helvetic Olympus. This is the goddess of finance. There are Siamese goddesses. One about finance and the other about savings.
It's a double one.
Yes, it's double.
Yeah, and she's shitting the same shit.
she's shitting this destroyed paper.
Yeah.
It would be a sculpture like this with these objects. She has a washing machine too. The one is of speculation is hooked on cocaine too. It has this relationship with the drugs too in Switzerland. No? This is the country who uses more cocaine in the world. But they justify it in the newspapers. No, it's because the bank people need to be very quick in the decision. Then they have to take cocaine. So everything is, and it's a drug of ego, of superfiction, totally, of the self. Actually, this, because now it's too much sun. I can't see it.
How do you feel, you would say, in this kind of environment? Because you were talking about the mood of an environment, and I guess you're also digging into history of Switzerland or representation of fictions. But I would be curious, how do you feel? Like here, what's happening with the body or with the mood?
Sometimes it's unbearable. I feel, but it was also from the other times I was here. I can feel very angry. It's really funny, but it's nice. I like rage because everything is falling down. It's here is like nothing can happen.
Yeah.
Or it will be like it's apocalypse everywhere. It's the last place where it will happen. Well, the last place to fall down, and everything is really beautiful too. Then of course it's nice because now in summer.
A lot of times I got into this, how to say, more abstract way to see a research, which is not that much linked with the topic. Oh, I will work on that and that, but maybe more about a simple practice, which is how can you open up a space for people to appropriate it and work together, and all this idea of cooperation, exchanging, collective. What is a collective? Where is power? I mean, all the basics. And the question was sometimes to get a bit more into laws, actually, really, how does it work and what is hospitality? Also in this idea of Switzerland as a neutral, not colonial country, right? This is always this idea of Switzerland that supposedly it's not colonial, which is not true.
Yes.
Switzerland loves to see itself maybe as a very, very small democratic utopia in the middle of Europe, not that much concerned by what happens in the sea or whatever. So anyway, this question, what does it mean exactly, hospitality? What does it mean to invite? Which is kind of a weird thing, because when you invite someone into your home or into a space that you know supposedly more than the other, then a relation starts that is already shaped, no? And what is at stake with this idea of invitation? How can you appropriate a space, a land, a country? Big questions. But maybe one thing also I was asking myself, seeing the drawing, and you were talking about cocaine, and I was asking myself, to whom it belongs, the fiction? Because actually fiction doesn't belong only to power or only to Nestlé. So for instance, the people who sell cocaine in the streets in Switzerland have a kind of crazy story in general, because there is no other issue than doing that. And the situation in Europe or in Switzerland brings one idea of one fiction about Switzerland to a completely other, which is just living in the streets and survive and being hunted by the police. And that's it. That's the only life that is proposed. And maybe I would be sometimes curious thinking about these fictions. To whom belong all these fictions and who has what kind of fiction? And because maybe still the representations are maybe very different from one person to another.